It's 8 p.m. in Banjul. This is the News Force, the headlines. Authorities in the Fisheries Ministry validate a 5-year working document to strengthen the country's fisheries and aquaculture sectors. Women in the Upper River region adopt Governor Alhaji Omar Sompo Sise as honorary father of the group. Hundreds turn out in Banjul to celebrate Senegalese 56 years of nationhood. And Iraqi forces determined against all odds to take over Mosul from Islamic State militants. These and other stories coming ahead in this half hour. I am NJIE. The Ministry of Fisheries and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization on Thursday validated the draft Fisheries and Aquaculture Sector Strategic Action Plan 2015 to 2020, Samuel report on the 5-year working tool designed to aid the growth of the country's fisheries and aquaculture sectors for sustainable food security.
5-year draft strategy follows a comprehensive review of the entire fisheries and aquaculture sectors. The document, when finalized, is therefore expected to help combat and enhance food security efforts and chart a roadmap for interventions in the marine resources.
The fisheries and aquaculture sector is a key priority area in the country's development agenda. However, in the recent past, there has been formidable challenges confronting the sector. Thus, one of the main reasons for today's validation workshop is to diagnose the problems and come up with policy recommendations and strategies to address these challenges.
The FAO-led intervention has charted challenges in the marine sector, potentials and way forward, as the global organization continues to maintain its firm policy stance on food security and agriculture.
A clearly articulated fisheries and aquaculture sector strategy will guide government, it will guide private sector, it will guide civil society, development partners, and indeed all actors in the Gambia fisheries and aquaculture sector in their decision-making at all levels. So we are dealing here with fundamental documents. What we have in front of us are fundamental documents that will serve as important reference points for all of us as we move forward in dealing with fisheries and aquaculture sectors.
With non-sustainable fish catching practices reported to be on the increase, experts are hopeful that the final document would provide guidance to all actors for sustainable management of marine resources.
In the Gambia, the fisheries sector contributes to the national economy and livelihoods of the population, with the potential to make significant contributions to improve food security. In all, the fisheries sector contributes 12% of the country's GDP, so it is not insignificant, it's quite substantial. An estimated 200,000 people are directly or indirectly dependent on artisanal fisheries and its related activities to their livelihoods in the Gambia. Fish and fisheries products are important ingredients in the diets of the Gambian people, with an estimated catch of 53,000 tons in 2015 from the artisanal subsector. It's also an important source of income for those engaged in fish processing and marketing.
This Fisheries and Aquaculture Strategy Plan 2016-2020 and the policy framework we are about to validate today sets out the Ministry's vision for the future of the fisheries and aquaculture sector in the country, and it lays out the Gambia government strategic policy priorities for developing the sector. This being the case, I kindly urge all of us here today to thoroughly review the document and again come up with practical solutions and recommendations that will help the sector achieve its strategic objectives and development goals.
The development of the fisheries and the 5-year draft strategy follows a comprehensive.
It was a momentous occasion to renew the already socio-historical ties that existed between Dhaka and Banjul. Hundreds joined the Senegalese diplomatic community to celebrate 56 years since the Francophone nation gained autonomy from France. Ibrahim Balde reports.
Diplomats, government officials, ordinary Senegalese and Gambians gathered under a common platform to celebrate 56 years since the Francophone nation gained independence from France. Independence celebrations are usually joyous moments to take stock of the achievements attained by a nation, as well as review the challenges encountered in nation building. Professor Saliu NJIE, the Senegalese ambassador to the country, used the opportunity to dilate on the March referendum in which, according to the Senegalese diplomat, 65% of Senegalese in the Gambia voted yes during the poll. Separated by so-called colonial boundaries, the Gambia and Senegal historically and distinctly share a common heritage. Gambia's Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Nene Magdol Gueye was at the reception to celebrate Senegal's 56th independence anniversary.
Granted that the celebration of independence is a crucial milestone of a nation's freedom and development, today we in the Islamic Republic of the Gambia celebrate with you ties of brotherhood and solidarity as we wish to all Senegalese here in the Gambia and all around the world joyous celebration of the 56th anniversary. There is indeed little need to recount on our history or on the sacred bond between our two countries, because not only are these facts already known by every Senegambian, young or old, their gestation is in every single home here in the Gambia and in Senegal as well. Your Excellency, the government of the Islamic Republic of the Gambia has since its first republic nurtured friendly, peaceful and close brotherly relations that is typically expected of two communities that share such an ancient bond of friendship.
The Gambia and Senegal share a distinct identity, and it is along these lines authorities are working hard to strengthen the already ties that exist between Senegal and the Gambia.
We are working together, both the Republic of Senegal and the Islamic Republic of the Gambia, to resolve the issues that would be beneficial to both parties on fair basis and lasting solution, as you rightly said.
By taking part in this historic event such as Dakar's independence celebrations, Banjul has manifested it has a common historical heritage with its next door neighbor. Ibrahim Balde, GRTS News.
The Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union recently gathered in the Upper River region to chart a roadmap for a more progressive future. The annual general meeting, the first of its kind since the beginning of the decentralization process, discussed inroads made by the union in bettering the lives of its members, particularly in the 2016 fiscal year. Louis Mendy has more.
Credit union shared branching, deepening financial inclusion through cooperation among cooperatives was the theme for the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union's 2016 annual general meeting. Painstakingly chosen, the theme illustrates the activities of the union as it continues to improve the lives of its members in an unprecedented fashion. Babkar Diouf is the emblem at the helm of affairs.
Some 3 years ago, we introduced a strategic plan for 3 years in which the highlights were about our villages and the consumer cooperative. At this point, I know we are all aware that we have operated 5 regional offices as part of that strategic plan in Basse, in Bansang, in Jarasoma, in Farafenye, and in Brikama. The consumer cooperative has consistently distributed motorcycles since 2013, and we are happy to say at this point close to 1,000 motorcycles are plying the roads of this country, courtesy of our consumer cooperative.
The Basse Convergence was an opportunity for the unionists to take stock of the performance of the union in the 2015 fiscal year, as well as chart ways for a more progressive future.
The team Credit Union Share Branching is intended to deepen financial inclusion through cooperation among cooperatives. It resonates with the fundamental and overriding principles that credit unions are built upon: cooperation among cooperatives.
With a promising balance sheet for the year ended 2015, the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union is in a strong financial footing to look after the welfare of teachers. But to be able to do this in a sustainable manner, one thing remains obvious.
The only answer to that is you must save and continue to save and continue to save.
But the GTU-CCU's strengths could only be attributed to the commitment, innovativeness, and transparency of the leadership. GTU-CCU, a safe haven for teachers, was a catchphrase in this AGM.
I wish to inform the membership that the new fields of membership can now open accounts in our outlets. Our able and non-procrastinating management team has put in place the required formalities for newcomers to join the happy family. In this I mean your wife, your child can now be a member. Just walk to any of the outlets and then put in the thousands, the hundreds, and whatever you have.
The Basse Convergence climaxed with the election of Seni Fatajo for the open seat on the GTU-CCU board, beating fellow contestant Monolamin Sonko. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The women of the Upper River region, faithful to the APRC party, adopted Governor Alhaji Omar Sompo Sise as honorary father. The title was conferred to Governor Sise when the party militants gathered in the provincial capital of Basse to observe the country's 54th independence anniversary celebrations. As Babakar Kamara reports, Governor Sise equally used the occasion to thank all those organizations and individuals who contributed in one way or the other to the successful organization of the independence anniversary in Basse in his region.
They stood to the call of the national anthem, but their presence at the program was triggered by Alhaji Omar Sompo Sise, Governor of the Upper River region, as their honorary father.
Alhaji Omar Sompo Sise. Alhaji Omar Sompo Sise. Gambia Musolu. Gambia Aro.
There are 7 constituencies in the Upper River region, and this is a decision of all its youth and women mobilizers. We recognize his love and commitment towards us, and this is just a gesture in reciprocity for his generous heart towards our plight. As a token of appreciation, we have decided to give him this collar knot and canned rings, including the gown he wore during Independence Day.
The men on that evening platform were APRC political heavyweights, including its mobilizers, regional governors, members of parliament, and party militants. The convergence has one objective: conferring Governor Sise with the honorary title of a father for the APRC women and seek his wisdom as their political father, having considered his political credentials of kindness and commitment over the period. Different speakers, including both the national youth and women mobilizers, Honorable Babugay Sonko and Aissatou Jufanka Jaju respectively, spoke about his commitments towards the party, adding he is an extrovert who doesn't live on his deeds. Therefore, it is necessary to recognize his efforts on Gambian women and the APRC party at large. Several testimonies and accolades poured on Governor Sise by the APRC heavyweights, including Mobilizer General Yankuba Koli and veteran Governor Alhaji Omar Khan of the Central River region. Both hail Governor Sise for his exemplary leadership qualities. On his part, Governor Sise returned gratitude to President Jammeh and his countrymen for the gesture and support to host the 54th independence anniversary celebrations.
First of all, I want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thank His Excellency, Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Jammeh Babeli Mansa, for the opportunity that he has given to the people of Upper River region to celebrate the 51st independence anniversary of the Second Republic of this country. It's a big opportunity, as you can see. The people of this region are very pleased, very appreciative to what is happening in this region and the country at large. So it was a very important day for us, and it was appreciated by the entire region.
Babakar Kamara, GRTS.
The Gambia Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union held its first ever annual general meeting after its formation some 5 years ago. Creating opportunities and enhancing lives of civil servants was the theme for the event held at the School of Nursing Ground in Banjul. Buba SMCC reports.
Registered Credit Union established 5 years ago. Little did they know that coming together to form what is now called the Gambia Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union will attract recognition of this magnitude, with huge resource mobilization, which eventually boosted the financial status of the union within this short space of time.
The total assets of our credit union amounted to 3.7 million as of December 2015. Non-current assets, the Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union equity and liabilities stood at 65,429. The current liabilities stood at 3.7 million. The member shares stood at $49,072. The members' total savings stood at $3,520,032.
The chairperson of the union, who also doubles as the deputy permanent secretary at Personal Management Office, Abdullah Jafune, went down memory lane about the formation of the union and commended the parent union, NACUC, for involving them in their capacity building trainings.
NACUC has been very supportive. Each time they organize training program, they always send us invitation. And most of these training programs were at no cost to the credit union. We came with a new product that we call 1x3. This loan, soft loan, we give it to members so that they can even start paying and finish before the real 1x6 deduction starts. This has helped greatly to enhance the welfare of our members.
The Registrar of Cooperatives, Abba Sankare, encouraged the membership to relentlessly mobilize civil servants. Sankare also challenged them to come up with more innovations.
Credit unions are owned by members and aim to provide affordable financial services to improve their living standards. I therefore challenge you to come up with more innovative products and services to better serve your members.
Yankuba K. Ture of NACUC made strong emphasis on savings and assured them of their unwavering support.
Credit unions are catalysts for human development, revolving on democratic principles such as transparency and accountability are its bedrocks for sustainability. I therefore challenge you to embark on a massive awareness campaign to increase membership and savings.
The guest speaker for the occasion was the permanent secretary at the Personal Management Office, Dauda D. Fadera, a key architect behind the establishment of this union. Before dilating on the theme, creating opportunities and enhancing lives of civil servants, P.S. Fadera thanked President Jammeh for blessing the establishment of their union. He stressed the culture of savings among members, describing it as the biggest union in numerical terms.
The civil service is the machinery of government that converts our programs and projects into concrete results. So the service we get from this union, no commercial bank can do it.
The union comprises all civil servants who are committed to working closely as a team to make the union second to none in terms of creating opportunities and enhancing lives of its membership. Buba SMCC, GRTS.
The government of the Gambia is hereby informing the general public that Essential Commodities Act 2015 has been enacted. The act is to regulate the importation, distribution, and retailing of essential commodities to the interest of the general public to ensure their availability and fair prices. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration, and Employment, MOTAI, wishes to remind importers, distributors, and major retailers of essential food commodities, namely sugar, rice, milk, flour, edible oil, tomato paste, onions, potatoes, whole chicken, and chicken legs to obtain a license with immediate effect. All importers, distributors, and major retailers of essential food commodities operating without license are advised to acquire a license from the ministry. Any person engaged in importing, distributing, or retailing of any essential commodity in the Gambia without a license issued by the Minister in charge of trade is committing an offense and is liable on conviction for an importer to a fine of not exceeding $100,000, a distribution fine to a fine not exceeding $50,000, a major retailer to a fine of not exceeding $25,000, and in default to serve imprisonment for not more than 6 months. $25,000 application forms can be obtained from the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment from Mondays through Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For further inquiry, please contact the Ministry on 422-8392, 422-8868. We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia after this short break. Don't go away.
Sunny data,
Sunny SMS,
Sunny credit,
Sunny box. Get all these for only $5.
$10 credit, 10 megabytes data, and 10 SMS.
QCell.
10.
Only on Gambia's quality network.
Sunny SIM, $5.
QCell SIM, $5 is only.
Pound rec.
You can now get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, free. Just visit any QCell customer care center and pick up your free QCell SIM card. Sunny SIM,
Sunny data,
Sunny SMS,
Sunny credit,
Sunny box.
It is here again, the 2016 edition of the GCCI Business Awards Dinner. Theme, supporting sustainable enterprises, under the patronage of His Excellency, the President of the Islamic Republic of the Gambia. Taking place at the Ocean Bay Hotel and Resort on the 6th of May 2016. 7 awards will be won in the following categories: Bank of the Year, Young Entrepreneur of the Year, SME of the Year, Leading Businesses of the Year, Emerging Business of the Year, Best Corporate Social Responsibility Award, Financial Institutions Supporting SMEs of the Year. Chief Guest of Honor and a speaker, Mr. Fanjai.
As a recipient of the first GCCI Entrepreneurship of the Year Award in 1992, I was very surprised, then very young, and now 24 years later, being invited as the Chief Guest of Honor and a guest speaker, I really feel privileged and honored, and I'll be extremely excited to share my experiences over these past 2 decades.
GCCI, truly the voice of business.
Bank account today and stand a chance to win fabulous prizes in July and October and at the end of the year. Maintain $10,000 to $50,000 balance in your GT Bank account for 3 months and stand a chance to be among 10 winners of 2 bags of rice, 1 gallon of vegetable oil, and 1 bag of onions in July and in October. And if you maintain more than $50,000 balance in your GT Bank account for 3 months, you could be among 3 winners of a fridge freezer, a 32-inch LED television, or a smartphone in July and in October. And even better, maintain a balance of $500,000 or more into your GT Bank account and stand the chance to win one of our 3 grand prizes at the end of the year. First prize is a brand new Hyundai Accent car. Second prize is a return ticket to Dubai for 1 plus pocket money of $2,000. And the third prize is a complete luxury sitting room sofa set. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us?
And to the front line against ISIS, the Iraqi forces are leading a fresh offensive to take the nation's second largest city. It has been nearly 2 years since Mosul fell under ISIS control. In this exclusive report, CNN follows ground troops as they progress village by village, winning small but significant victories. Warning, some of the images may be disturbing.
Bursts of gunfire and artillery explosions. A constant reminder that the enemy ISIS is relentlessly probing for vulnerabilities in the Iraqi army's defenses.
ISIS, and especially now, we are on the perimeter of what is their so-called caliphate. They are using waves of suicide bombers backed by fighters.
Coalition airstrikes leveled this building ISIS militants had snuck into the night before we arrived. The hillside is strewn with the bloated bodies of dead ISIS fighters. One of them looks particularly young, a teenager, the Iraqis say. General Djibouti's men only recently recaptured this village and a handful of others. The first tentative steps in the battle for Mosul, Iraq's second largest city, that humiliatingly fell to ISIS after Iraqi security forces abandoned their positions around 2 years ago. These are men retrained, under new command, forces that will repeatedly be put to the test. Will they hold this ground and fight, or again flee? Key, of course, to the equation is U.S. support.
For us, we have enough ground forces. The most important thing is to see ongoing U.S. backing with the air support, advisors, and logistical support.
But not boots on the ground.
It's not an urgent thing for us right now, boots on the ground. We can liberate our lands.
ISIS has had plenty of time to fortify its defenses in Mosul and here, still some 45 kilometers or 30 miles away from the main battleground. Deep in one of the hills, a labyrinth.
This is not just a tunnel complex, it's actually a tunnel and sleeping quarters complex that has been dug well underground.
Winding passages that veer off in multiple directions. This one leads to a small opening for oxygen circulation, we are told. And this is just the start of the impending bloody battle to try to liberate Mosul, one that will be a defining chapter in this nation's history and beyond.
We take our second break now. Sports news is next. The technical director of Ghana Football Association has said that grassroots development is key to the development of football. Francis Otte was speaking to GRTS's MOMODOU S. Jallo during a recent CAF mission to the Gambia.
Living witness of Ghana being a shining example when it comes to football on the continent. Now that you are in the Gambia, we want you to share with us the importance of technical setup in a football association, a football federation.
In brief, probably to tell you that we need to look at the strategic points. And if you want to look at the strategic points before the setup, you have to have this project cycle. And the project cycle will tell you the situational analysis. From the situational analysis, you come to your strategy. That is, where do you want to go? After you have known where you were, that is the situational analysis. Then we come to the strategy. That will be the where do you want to go. So from there, if you know where to go, then you now come to your implementation. You look at the technical department, where you need to talk about coaching, you need to talk about refereeing, you need to talk about the sports medics, you need to talk about the administration itself. See, these are the 4 areas that are under the technical directorate and which form very important domains. So these 4 domains will take care of everything.
What is it there for a country like the Gambia can learn from Ghana?
The grassroots is always important. The grassroots is always important, and the grassroots is part of the coaching, and it is part of the 4 domains that we have already spoken about. So if you are able to take up to the grassroots and you develop it to the youth elite and then develop it to the elite, then you know that yes, you are almost there.
In the Gambia, we always talk about grassroots. But can you tell us what actually is the grassroots?
If you are putting up a building and then you have blocks, and you start on a plain this thing like that, and then you get to a certain level, will it not fall? It will fall. So you need to lay a very solid foundation. And the solid foundation that you are laying is what we call the grassroots. So from there you can build on it. You can put the blocks on. Well, now gradually you'll be able to go further, get to the lintel, then get to the roofing, and so on and so forth. So the grassroots is the base, and you need to form a very good base in everything that you do. And that is why it is important that you build from the grassroots. Normally, you see, I will say all these things over here. We have African countries, we always started from the top. You see, so when you discover that the people are getting older, then that's all, the structures fall. But where you have the grassroots, you always be building on from one step to the other. From one step from the grassroots, you get to the under 17, or you have shadow national teams for 13, 15, then 17, then up to 20, 23, then you get to Chan, and then to the senior team. So at any time in point, you have a shadow national team, and that will be feeding the next level. So if you have this, tell me, don't you think it will be wonderful? Even if you have the Scorpions, I think the Scorpions is the senior team. So even if you move from the Chan or the under 23, that's the Olympic team, to the Scorpions, you have longer time, you have longer playing time, and that will help the country, and everybody will just be smiling.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. Authorities in the Fisheries Ministry has validated a 5-year working tool to strengthen the country's fisheries and aquaculture sectors. Alhaji Omar Sompo Sise, the governor of the Upper River region, has been adopted honorary father by the women of the region. Hundreds turn out in Banjul to celebrate Senegalese 56 years of nationhood. And the Iraqi forces are determined to take Mosul from ISIS. That's all we have for you now. Join us at 10 o'clock again for more news. Until then, I am your presenter, NJIE.